Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
birthday to you. Happy birthday to
you.
you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Reese.
Reese.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to you.
Thank
Yay!
you. Oh
Happy
my God.
birthday.
That was amazing.
Was
Was
it
that
though?
fun?
That was like so low latency. I couldn't even, it's like
Well, yeah, that's
amazing.
I was wondering how that was gonna go.
That was great.
You just have to keep going, right? You can't like stall. You're like, I started and I'm just gonna keep
Because
going.
everybody's like, oh, I'm waiting for them. No, I'm waiting for you now. No. You did great. I love it. And with harmony, of course.
How's your birthday been? How have you been?
Sorry here.
We'll start with the birthday.
It's been great. You know, it was a great, it was a beautiful day. It finally felt like June. It's not January anymore.
Right.
And yeah, went to Duke's with my partner and her parents, and my friend who I've known since the 3rd grade is in town.
Nice.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, totally crazy.
So that sounds like a fun day. And you are looking dapper as fuck.
Thank you.
Friend. What's the bow? I can barely see. Oh, yeah.
Also have my little sis.
Ooh, what is that?
That's the thing that says dapper as fuck.
Nice. Did someone give that to you?
It's my bling. No, actually, somebody in the Georgetown, that little flea market Georgetown thing,
Yeah.
she makes them. So she custom made it for me.
Oh, I love it.
Wow. I like it. Your little bling. It's like
My bling.
cute little bling.
My God, so good to see all of you.
Yeah, you too.
A long time since I've seen Reese.
I know.
Well, Reese, do you want to tell us like what you've been doing, what you're up to, what you got cooking, what's going on this month? You know, like
Now that things can be going on. I mean,
yeah. I mean, actually, it's funny because you know, like as things got going for me, like what got busy is the production side. So I'm doing a lot of like live sound outdoors because I have the gear, and so people are calling me like, hey, we're gonna have this thing in the park. So
awesome.
yeah, so that's like, you know, because I'm all nonprofity in the daytime, and then just I've been just waiting to get back to like going out to shows and playing a little bit more and getting back to the band rehearsals. I know some people went back already, but the big bands, I don't think have generally. Ours hasn't, because it's a lot of wind instruments, a lot of air flying around.
oh yeah, for sure.
We weren't all into bagging up our instruments and stuff too. So,
Right. So what bands are you in, Reese?
Well, you know, the jazz band, the Rain City Jazz Orchestra, we were just put on hold. We've just been doing website maintenance and, you know, that kind of stuff, and just chatting once in a while. But I actually did a really interesting, I did like a project, a side pony project in November. I hadn't really played except for like a little bit of noodling for pretty much the months since March, because, you know, my hair was on fire just trying to keep the Folklife afloat. So that was the preoccupying thing at the moment. But so, you know, Don Farwell over at Ewig Studios, he was trying to keep his studio running, and he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pre-sell recording time. And I'm like, oh, I have these little songs that I've been working on, and by November I should be in condition to like record. They're acoustic, you know, just a little stuff. And I got to November, I'm like, I have no idea. Like I've been like doing little bits. So my friend who's a drummer stayed with me during the month of November, and we basically went in the studio and like created 4 songs in the studio out of like little tiny nugget things. I think one song I had like lyrics and stuff, but it felt like that 70s vibe, you know, where like go in the studio and like whatever comes out, comes out.
I love that.
Yeah. And he played bass on the track. So it was very fun. And I was like, oh, and I thought about Blood Moon. It was just like, you know, it was like that thing where you have a little nugget of idea, but like everybody adds their thing, and then it takes on a life of its own. So I love it.
I love it too. That feels good. Ah, that's so cool. So when do you think you might be releasing that stuff?
Well, we put it, he mixed it down in a couple days, and then Rachel Field mastered it, and I actually put it out in January because there was a song that had, you know, a certain political bent to it. So I put it out in January, and just I've been sitting on it. So, you know, I'd love to play live sometime. Also, my friend Sal's an amazing drummer, and so I'd love to just like get out and play. They're on the peninsula, but at some point we'll get together and be able to play out. So
yeah, that's
great. It
great.
also is like getting back, right? It's a way to get back in, dip the toe.
Right, dip in the toe. Right, yeah, like record that stuff and then be like, I got stuff to share. Somebody book me. Right.
So I'll work on the other side of the board for now, and then plot my time to go back and behind the mic, right?
Yeah, right. That'll be exciting. I'd love to see it when you book something. So let us know for sure. Hey, maybe we do a Blood Moon thing, like have you be an actual feature where you like play for, because we're going to get back to that eventually. It's just, I know Michelle and I need to talk about that, about like how we're going to do that.
Reese has gone to Hawaii a lot too. She's had a couple good vacations last year.
Well,
Jealous.
I went to Hawaii right as the pandemic started, and then I came back, and then I actually went to Lake Crescent like 4 times. So my friend was working out there, and then had just like had a cabin, so just stayed out there for like a week or a weekend at a time and worked from the woods.
That's great.
I saw some pictures and I was like, oh, I love Lake Crescent. It's so beautiful. And the color of the water, you had like a picture that you took kind of like on a dock, and the color of the water was that green, green blue. And it just, it's so beautiful out there.
It's magical. Yeah.
Yeah. And the water feels so good, even though it's like really cold. It's really cold.
It is really effing cold.
Yeah. It'll take your breath away. But
I feel like everybody did a lot of like technical stuff this year, probably, right? Just to like live.
Oh yeah. Lessons online, Zoom all the way, Actually, for a while there, it was like some on FaceTime, some on Skype, some on Zoom, some on House Party. And then it just got to a point where I was like, okay, FaceTime sucks, Skype is okay-ish, and then Zoom was like the best, and then House Party for the people that felt like Zoom shared your information. So I don't know if you guys ever did House Party, but
I think like everything's saved everywhere. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I have a doctor's appointment next week online. I was like, wait, that's like
it's all logged somewhere.
I mean,
right?
I've been doing it. That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Google and Facebook know we had doctor's appointments, and
they sure do.
Right.
And like my phone and somebody, yeah, it's weird
right now. So it's like, if they wanted to find out what we were doing right now, they could. It's like,
let's just talk about beetles and then insects.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what pops up in our Facebook feeds and our
what kind of albums you get suggested to buy.
Beetles, right? Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll see some Hawaii stuff and then go visit Washington State lakes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Bring it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing Folklife the last couple of years. Did you even do it in 2020?
We did. We did it virtually, and then we did it virtually again this year because we were, with the time we have to make all those decisions as August, September, October. It was like there's no way. And honestly, we wouldn't have wanted to bring 70,000 people a day to there would have probably been some people that showed up, but the problem they're the folks that probably shouldn't be showing up to stuff.
Right.
They're so dying to be out and about. So so the first 2020 was a lot of people doing this Zoom or like little home recordings, and it was kind of really interesting and intimate, right? This was like part of what I loved about the beginning of the pandemic, and still kind of love about people just doing some home stuff. You just see the creative process, you see them really relaxed in their surroundings and telling stories and things like that. That feels, just kind of invited into their home. And then for this year, we did similar. Some people submitted, but there were people that went out to the parks or, had their small dance crew or band in their yard. And then we did some actual productions with Michael B. Main Productions to do like pre-records of our hula dancers on the pier, which looked like Hawaii. Honestly, it was a beautiful day. It was 50 degrees, but it looked like Hawaii because the water was in the background. And a bunch of stuff, Clinton Farron on mural. And so, I mean, it was wild, like all the stuff that you're like, you think that it's like, shoot the thing and put it up, but it's like, probably in some ways it feels a little more pre-thought and labor intensive, because you're not just like having a musician show up and then go to the stage or whatever. It's like you have to turn this in and put the lower third on and make sure their name's spelled right, and the MCs know their name for the host. Like it's like this whole process. So different.
So different. Yeah.
Why trips to the lake were necessary.
I have a question. Do you think that live streaming, just coming from because you run like Folklife, do you think that like next year, even though maybe the pandemic's over and all that, that people will still be doing live streaming along with live performance? Do you think this still will be a kind of a thing?
I think, yes. I think folks who can figure out how to do hybrid well are going to come out really, I mean, not the best per se in that way, but that are really going to come out with a more robust audience from the experience, right? Because I think digital also offers us the opportunity, like people in other countries are watching, or people, that aren't, your family in a different state could watch. I think that widening of audience is still available. We also heard back from a ton of people who are getting older or they've moved away. Like this was a way that we could participate. And it was, please make sure that you offer aspects of this again, because this is my favorite festival and I can't go anymore. Or, there was just a lot of very positive feedback. And it also was just like, there are folks that get left out when it's in person because they're just physical barriers or can't be there that weekend, that the digital and then, doing some on demand afterwards where they can go back and look at it, they get that feeling of like, oh, I still can participate. So I definitely think it's huge for accessibility, but it's also continuing to be able to reach out further than that, one location, which is special, but then at the same time, it does create limitations. So yeah, I think it's here to stay. I think doing it in a way that can continue to be engaging, just shooting video and putting it up is, we know that we have to bump up the level now, so.
Well, it'll create more jobs for the industry, right? If it is something that stays as a thing, I think.
I mean, think about putting all of this. It's just like creating your own television station, essentially, right? Yeah. Creating our own networks. We wouldn't even need like the big guys anymore. I think that could be when you put things into real perspective. You can take an app like TikTok. You watch 30-second video or a 3-minute video. More people are watching that than they're watching television. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a form of entertainment. It's just these little snippets, and it's like they're creating their own little television station in this app. It's like, even watching Emily McVicker, man, she has like tons of people on Twitch following her, and that's how she's making a living now.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Wow, that's impressive. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's like making a living doing it, and it's rad. And it's like there's quite an opportunity to, for everybody to make money at it, not just the big guys anymore. So
yeah,
perspective. Bumbershoot TV. Right? Like seriously.
Well, I mean, and Folklife is a huge organization, and I could see an organization of that size being successful doing both, because I think you would have the staff to do both. And I could be wrong, but or it would become like a focus, right? Another way of outreach, of having outreach, but like clubs, just putting a camera on, you're right. I think it's sure you're going to get like some people watching, but how do you make it interesting and flow and
totally.
Yeah.
I think what's going to be interesting too is like, like you were saying, Michelle, like monetization is really interesting, right? We've gotten into this whole world of like IP and licensing and rights, and that's been the whole world of making money. And when you think about it, like if we could like, if there's a core value shift in like we value creation and content in a different way, and we're just willing to give you good tips, like almost like we were paying for a ticket, but it's not like mandatory. That's actually the best situation, right? When people value it for what it is and they're voluntarily contributing. Obviously, that's not going to always be the case, but I think with digital, it's so wild. Everything is flying around. Once you put it on the internet, it's there. It's hard to control everything. So I think coming along with a more of a mindset shift about, you know, just because it's there doesn't mean that it didn't take some kind of effort to create it. And so supporting that, if you want to continue seeing those things, that supporting that is important. So that's, to me, is like the hard conversation, because there's always the legal part, but then there's also the like cultural and social mindset part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe the arts will be more valued now, you know, that it's been taken away from us in a sense.
Oh man, when I went to that show at Drunkies a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I wanted to go to that. Yeah.
Palace and Astor House, and every single song, the crowd went wild after every single song. Everyone was just so up to be there. It's going to be, I feel like artists right now, I already see artists raising their prices, which has been awesome to see. I don't want to see another fucking $5 door ticket. I mean, I just don't. I can't. And, you know, nobody wants to walk back into that. I mean, setting a minimum standard and of what people should, for artists to expect to get paid, they need to be like, no, we want $15 at the door. Sorry.
At the very least, right?
Totally.
$15 at the very least.
What you want right now, because everyone's going to pay it.
Yeah. Right.
Is Drunkies outside? I haven't been there. Yeah. Doors?
Funky to Death should play there.
Yes, we should. We're going to have to call them and see if we can get in there.
So should Blood Moon, actually. We should probably reach out. This is a song about staying grounded in a crazy world we're living in. Keep your heads up. Well, time here on earth is fleeting. That's so just something that gives You put your feet down, put them there right on the ground. You put your feet down, so you always know where you're bound. You put it all down, yeah. So don't forget it or else you might regret it. Make sure that you are looking exactly where you're headed. Jesse Cameron on the guitar. Melissa, what you been up to?
Yeah, so as far as music goes, you know, Funky Death has done a few live streams. We've done a few at the Sea Monster, and that was in partnership with Loud Swell. So that's the, you know, the online kind of, they help set everything up, promote everything, and they're streaming through their site and on YouTube, I think. Or Facebook. So we've done a couple shows there, and then we've been playing at Growler Guys, which is up in Lake City, and that's been really fun. We play in the basement. They have a room, and it's just the musicians, and then they have video and audio and audio guy and sound guy, and then Kelly, who owns the place, he's down there, and he's like, they make it all action shots. They're doing a great job there. They make it really interesting, and then it streams on the TVs at outside of the brewery, and the whole brewery is outside underneath an awning. So it's been a way to feel safe being out because it's outside. And so, and then when we're playing, you know, we're inside, but no one else is really in there, and people are masked. So it's, you know, it's felt safe. Yeah, it's definitely, we've done some recording, kind of a lot of us, our own locations, sometimes some people down at our rehearsal space. And we just released a single, Root Down. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty exciting. And just seeing, like, you know, some people, of course, awesome Eva Walker hooking us up, KXD.
Yes. And you guys got written up about it, right?
We did. Artist Home, that was Tony. So yeah, people have been really kind, and we're appreciative. And then yeah, I mean, music wise, that's what I've been doing. I can't say I've really had a ton of time. I've been working like 5 jobs this whole.
Yeah, you've been working.
I have a 4-year-old. I have my daughter Gigi. So this last month, I reached like max capacity and thought I was like gonna have a breakdown or something. So things are starting to slow down, but you know, I work with the Bushwick Northwest, and so we have had all of our Bushwick Bookclub shows virtual this whole season, and it's actually been Michelle, you did one this year. It's been, so I did one one show, but mostly I'm kind of like behind the scenes, and it's been really interesting. The videos are, it's just a totally different thing. Usually, you know, we're up on stage. We were at Hugo House last year, and so just people coming up just with their instrument, just singer-songwriter, more vibes most of the time. But when people had videos that they were able to make at home, sometimes they got really creative with it. So it was pretty amazing actually this past season. So I'm hoping that you know, that we can have kind of a blend next year, you know, because some people really did it. I mean, everybody did a great job. And then as far as the video goes, some people just really took it to other places. So it was really fun though to watch and work with.
That is cool. Yeah, that would also work for Bushwick to do like a hybrid live stream or whatever.
Yeah, because they could invite people from around the country to do things that way.
Ooh.
Do in person, and then people from around the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't know what Bushwick Book Club is, it's we pick books for the whole season, runs September through June. We take a couple months off in the summer, but we have a book list, and then each month performers read that book, write a song about that book, and perform it. And then most of the people that buy tickets or in the audience have read the book also, although that is not required, but you know, it helps you understand some of the songs a little bit. So it's also a great way to read, you know, if you're not sure what book to read and you need a good suggestion, a recommendation, then it's, you know, keeps you reading.
Yeah.
I also think to myself, and any of the times that I participated, I wrote songs I never, ever would have written.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the stuff that I've written are some of the best songs that I feel like I've ever written because of the book, you know? And
it's nice to have a focus, right? You have something to write about.
Yeah.
Maybe that leaves like more, you know, room for stretching out a different way.
Well, and even for myself, like when I was in school, when I was a kid, and I would have thoughts and ideas about books that I was supposed to read, and I was always told I was wrong by my teacher. No, that's not what the book is about. And the thing that's great about Bushwick is it's like, no, write about whatever you think, whatever you get from the book. And it was like, oh, I can enjoy this the way that I want to. That's awesome. You know, I don't have to be told that, no, it's supposed to be this message that you're getting, not that one. So that's one thing I always have dug about Bushwick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, freedom to express, like in a regular book club, you know, you have a train of thought and people are talking, and then it's kind of like, well, I thought this, but then it might be even like a point of contention or an argument, but it's like, there's no argument. This is like what I got out of it, and this is how I'm expressing it back, and people just intake that. It's another form, right? Like you get to see like all these different perspectives of a single thought.
Totally.
Kind of like paint and sip when you see the same painting, but like painting, and it's.
I think there's some other things involved there.
Yeah. Well, that's how Melissa and I actually met, was Bushwick Book Club. We're like, we both ended up, it was The Sparrow was the book, The Sparrow, which is awesome if you've never read it. And we both ended up bringing like all these weird electronic like sounds and toys and stuff. And so we both were like, huh?
Ooh, who's that girl?
Yeah, that was so fun.
Nice.
When the day turns to night, you must fly on your own. You got to grow and see the world.
want you to talk about one thing though, Melissa, is your Melissa and the Fun Machine. That is a project that it's a slow going project.
It's a slow going project. Yes,
but
that is
it's
true.
like so awesome. It's so awesome because you're like drawing, you're making this cartoon video that goes with your music where you write songs and use this actual piano called the Fun Machine.
The Fun Machine, yeah.
Yeah.
It is so on the back burner. I mean, I need more time. And I do actually think about it a lot because I feel like it's the most artistic I felt because I was actually drawing. Not that I have any background in that, short of, when I was very young. But I learned how to do animation, and everything in there is, I drew everything, every color I made up. So it's so creative, and so, yeah, my videos are up on YouTube, but I'm looking forward to when I could jump back into that. But I feel, I just like kind of almost feel like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything until I actually do it, because it's been like 5 years. I don't know. Maybe in a couple of years, we'll see.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
But I feel like it's something that I could do forever. Like I don't think I would ever get sick of it. It's just, it really is time consuming. So you have to want to sit in front of a computer, and I already do that like all the time. So,
right.
But you have to have that time. But yeah, I could see that down the line again.
Yes.
Hello, my love, it's been a while here in the now without you. Hello, my love, I could travel the world. Me, so I can feel like me. Go to new places so I can feel like me. Chase the invisible cause I wanna see me free. It's been a while since lonely in the past. Somewhere where I feel like me. I like going to new places so I can feel like me. Hello, my love. Hello, my love. Hello, my love, it's been a while here in the now without you.
Shaw was our other feature, Shaw Wild. I don't know if you guys know her. I actually, maybe you do. She was doing the Wild Musicians episodes. She did that for a while, podcast. And she's actually been doing, she released some music. I can't remember when it was. It was earlier this year, 2021, which is really cool stuff that she's doing. And she learned how to DJ during this time. And she's paints in her underwear and does yoga in her underwear. And she's just so like, I'm sexy and this is my body. What? You know, it's just like, I just love how she's just so like, I don't know.
I just started doing yoga in my underwear this last year.
Really?
And I love it. It feels so good. I mean, it feels really good.
Nice.
I always had, long yoga pants on, tank top, whatever. And then I think I got hot one day and just took my pants off. And I was like, this is incredible. Why have I not been doing this the whole time?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that. No pants yoga.
No pants yoga.
No pants yoga. So
only way.
A lot of time this year in no pants, and I wasn't doing yoga, but I did. I mean, I have to say, this last year being alone, it was easy to be naked a lot.
Yeah. So one
in
thing
a natural state.
In a natural state, right? So one really cool thing that she's doing is she has a studio on Capitol Hill. And every Wednesday she has she features somebody like a DJ or some kind of electronic artist, and they have a dance party in her studio. And so she's doing this and getting musicians to perform, and I think it's going to be it's starting to snowball. It's a really cool thing. She asked me to do it, so we're going to figure out a time when I can do my set there, but check her out, Shaw Wild.
I want to go dance.
Dance. Maybe we should go. We should go some Wednesday to go dance. Mm-hmm. But she's very creative and colorful and lovely. So check her out, and we'll show a video of her in this episode.
Also, Michelle, I was
forever.
gonna say that we need to do some space jams.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, before lockdown, I had done a show with Reese. We wrote like 3 songs in a month and a half to do as a fundraiser for Rain City Rock Camp for Girls. And
Oh,
he was playing bass and singing, and Reese was playing guitar.
I remember that.
That was fun. Who was on? Why am I forgetting the drummer's name?
Andrea was our
Andrea,
drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, because she changed her name to like Andrea SPD on
Yeah.
like every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Andrea, the drummer. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that, and I definitely would like to do that, Reese, because I feel like we had a good vibe, which we know is a hard thing to find. So I was digging it.
Will you let me out play with, like, I think I set out like all my pedals. Just like, oh, let's turn them all on and see what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Yes, love it.
My bass playing, I can play a bunch of whole notes really well. So, Reese could pretty much play all of her pedals and have it be fine. I didn't have a lot going on for myself.
It was like deep space though. The bass just kind of extending and then like little droplets and
Ooh, deep space. I like this. I'm excited to hear it.
Songs about outer space. It was fun.
I love it. Oh my God.
Probably more interesting than what's going on this earth right now.
Well, pretty soon they're all going to be right.
On
Right.
Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. Me and my brother were like, why are we trying so hard to get off of the earth and start a colony on like another planet when it's probably going to be less expensive to actually make our planet Earth a better place to live? I don't know.
Well,
It was
like
interesting topics.
Yeah, do we have another 3 hours?
Oh my God, right? I know, we don't even have to, but food for thought. But anyway.
Speaking of hybrid, like space sounds with some blazing space
Oh,
video effects, right? Like,
yes.
I mean, I turned that on and just like
Yes.
for a few hours like that.
Oh.
Oh my God. Blazing space. Love that. Beautiful human. Those actually it's 2 of them, isn't it? Anyway. I don't know. It's John and
John, right?
it's just John.
Just John, yeah.
Yeah.
We're out at Capitol Hill.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing some stuff for Blue Cone Studios and Vermilion.
Right.
Yeah, and they were having kind of like a guerrilla street party and just like hip hop and dance and some pop-ups.
Yeah, Katrina did one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I did in May, Blaze in Space and I did a night. We did May 7th.
In the window.
Yeah. Yeah, in the window. It looked
Nice.
so cool.
I love that idea.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And
Yeah.
it was raining and people were they were out and dancing and like cheering. And I'm just like, after the first song, I started tearing up because I was so like overwhelmed with like, oh my God, I'm performing in front of people and they like it. And oh my God, just like pure joy.
Yeah, now when the music scene really fully opens up, I mean, I feel like we always got people dancing at the Sea Monster. It's like we would not allow it not to happen. We just would keep calling people out until they started dancing. But I hope that has gone away in Seattle. I mean, I want to see people get down, just like not hold back at all.
I think you're going to see people get down.
You're talking about getting down everywhere, not just at the Sea Monster.
In the
Right?
street,
Yeah.
out on the
Exactly, right?
everywhere.
I think we will see that. And people wearing the outfit that they like had tucked in the closet for so many years, like, I'm just going to pull this out on a special occasion. Now it's going to be like Every occasion is special. Bust that outfit out, you know?
I gotta go shopping. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Shanna's stepping out in her like sequin little
Dude,
shorts pantsuit. Like, yeah.
Yes.
always fly that one. Always.
I don't know. I sort of feel like maybe Blood Moon we should just put up a DIY outdoor pop-up in a parks and just do it that way.
I mean, we could. So we actually booked a show with Loud Swell July 23rd. Let me make sure that's the right date. July 23rd.
That's it. Yeah.
But the thing is like, we're like, okay, now let's find a venue, or maybe you know somebody that has a big space outside that we could do, you know, because we were wanting to make it hybrid, like, because Loud Swell's live stream, but then also we want to have that feel of like people there, and then maybe even have a mic or an opportunity for people to plug in and actually like come and, you know, play with us, which would be cool.
Yeah. BYOM.
Yeah. BYOM.
Yeah. I watched your Blood Moon episode last month where you guys talked about it. And yeah, no one's using my mic. Like,
Morgan just to be a host for a Mojam, and I was like, I have my own mic to myself all night. I hope you know that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna host.
Everybody else can do what they want.
Wait, is Mojam back?
Yeah, Mojam's. But where? Do you know where?
She said she was going to a meeting with Nectar. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, she.
Nice.
So
she asked if I could host.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see. No one's getting on my mic.
But Reese, I love that idea of just like a pop-up in the park. If you brought enough of your own, I guess we need a generator or something.
Oh, I got one of those.
Oh, well, wait, is it enough power for like guitar and bass and keys?
Oh yeah, I mean, we had 2 generators out there, but I actually brought my small generator. We did the Shayna and Cozelle's pop-up at Jimi Hendrix.
Nice.
Yeah, I was out at the Chop with my setup. And you know, it was like speakers and bands. I mean, there was like 2,000 people out there.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Well, then yeah, the sky's the limit. And plus, you know, then daytime, you definitely want to do those things, I think, at daytime for the lighting, if you're going to live stream it, or at least.
Well, the summer you get more light, right? So that's the nice.
We got till like 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I have a ton of colored floodlights, if that was a thing. Like,
okay, now we're talking.
You know,
yeah,
ton of lights.
Yeah, I mean, Jimi Hendrix Park actually isn't that bad of an idea.
It's not.
That looked so good. Yeah, when Shayna did that. Yeah, that's an idea. Oh, there's a place that I've been wanting to have like a festival. It's right down the street from my house. So it was Jimi Hendrix Hall. Let me look up the name of this park. It's let me look at a map of my house right now. It looks like a little mini amphitheater.
Oh, right on.
Oh, nice.
And it is here it is. It's called Dr. Blanche Levizo Park.
Oh, yeah.
It's right behind like Odessa Brown I mean, I don't know if you know Odessa Brown, like the family, you know, healthcare. And it's right off Jackson and 20th.
The parks has done like they've tried to activate that park. They've done like movies in the park there, and yeah.
They need to be doing more because it's got an amphitheater.
Pre-COVID.
On the far side.
Pre-COVID.
No, actually, it might have power. It has power.
Yeah, it does.
Because I was looking, I was like, okay, where are the power? Where's the plugs? And it has power.
Like right by the, I'm thinking about there's a coffee, like Broadcast Coffee, and then Good Hair Salon.
Yeah, that's Pratt Park. That's like that whole area. That's cool too.
No, I'm just wondering because I'm like, are you talking? So I'm not thinking about the right park. Okay.
It would be like a little bit further towards 23rd.
Okay, cool. Nice.
But I wonder, like, do you have to get permits at a park or can you just wing it?
I think that pretty much if you are this unofficially.
Yeah.
You don't want to disturb you don't want to piss off the neighbors. That's really what it is.
All right, we need a big park. We need a big park. Yeah.
Well, because
How could we ever
Reposado-
piss off the neighbors? Yeah.
because Reposado just got like they the last time that they did it at Gasworks, I don't know if they're still trying to do it Rogue, but they were doing it Rogue, and then they got in trouble because there was Parks Department there and they shut it down. And what they found out was like a permit just to do one show, you know, like a few hours at the park, it's $300.
Oh, come on.
He went and talked to them the other day. He said, and I quote, "If you're going to show up, make sure not to interrupt other events that are happening there. We can't tell you not to do it, but don't be careless and think about other people that are there that have rented the space. We can't tell you not to do it. So this is kind of how you do it.
That makes sense.
Take care and just make sure to take care in what's happening. You know,
city
summer solstice and set up when there's a whole festival already going on, right?
Right.
Yeah, and also the city's whole recovery plan is about activating neighborhoods and parks and public spaces again to get people out. And I mean, of course, that's with the caveat that like we're like 1 week, right, from reopening, but also that people do things safely. And I mean, I think that's the thing is like, you know, the things that I've been to that are DIY, like there are people who are volunteers that are like handing out gloves and masks and whatever people want, and you know, kind of like having some supplies there and having some folks that are like just reminding folks to be. But if it's mostly word of mouth, those folks are going to be respectful anyway, right? That's a difference to go into the club, because you know, whoever can show up and, you know, make a scene or make it uncomfortable for everybody. And like some of this stuff, if you're like telling people that you know are showing up because they want to see the music, it's way different. That's a way different feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind it being outdoors for as long as possible.
Oh my God, right?
Like the whole thing, like I'm trying to wrap my head around being inside a club.
Yeah, I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
I went to the Albatross thing, Tekla's thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was very limited. They had made it a little bit larger audience, but it was still pretty spread out. It felt, you know, they did a good job. It felt safe, but also I couldn't, like in my head, I was like sitting there and being like, if there were more people than are in the room, it was just about on the edge of what I was comfortable, like sitting inside a space with.
Yeah.
With people some people I knew, but some people I didn't. So I was like, yeah, this is about the limit. So even if it was a bigger room, I think I'd still feel like,
yeah,
a little bit,
Yeah, right.
fine. So
people who aren't going to get vaccinated who are going to be indoors. I mean, there's nothing, and we don't know who they are. I mean, and that's the real reality, you know. So it's like, I'm kind of with Melissa in the respect where it's like, I'm cool with outside for as long as we can make that happen for now. And then we can kind of see what that looks like come around October, you know, I mean, because that's when we're really going to have to go back inside.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, wow.
you know, so you get a couple months of some kind of like, you know, cowboy rule.
Yeah, I think
we want, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kind of give right now.
Yeah.
Probably through the summer too. And they should too. They should just let these
Links below.
They're letting to go. They're letting alcohol be to go.
Yeah.
Still.
I think that's great. Maybe we can just make that a thing. I mean,
seriously.
I don't drink, but like, why not make it a thing?
Yeah, nothing bad is happening.
No, nothing bad is happening.
No.
Yeah, it was wild to walk out of Lottie's with your like little drink to go. I was like watching people walk down the street. I'm like, oh, it's like New Orleans, but less sloppy. Like people were had their little sippy cup and they were just walking on the street. But I was like, huh.
Yeah. I just picked up a pizza. Gigi and I were going to the beach, and it was outside Mia Posto, and somebody was like out there having a beer. And it's like, that's so silly that you used to not be able to, like, waiting to get inside. They were just having a beer. And I was like, it's kind of silly that there was a time when you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because you were standing on the street, you know, just, okay, come on.
Yeah. This,
That lenient, that would be great.
yeah.
If they're actually, like, a lot of the neighborhoods are hoping to keep, like, all those streets closed where they have bars, like Columbia City, I know has that they're trying to keep that street closed so that it can just be outdoor drinking.
I think that's a great idea. And then there's also that other street, what is that, 12th on Broadway? That has
11th, I think it's 11th.
Is it 11th? Yeah,
Yeah.
right across the street from Vermilion.
Yeah, by the Rose and
Yeah.
Cafe Pedroso. Yeah.
They should keep that.
They should just block off that whole street and let it be a
whole area
street.
You should just
I agree.
close Pike and
Yeah.
at night, and then all those side streets to go with it, from like Broadway up to like 12th. You know.
I agree. Yeah.
I will say that the fun part about the park is, you know, I don't mind the alcohol walking around in Hawaii. Like, you can have it on the beach and right, if it's not just like whatever. Right. But
yeah, don't be blatant.
Yeah, but I liked it in the park because that wasn't the main focus, and I think that's the difference, right? Is like, unfortunately, venues have to make a lot of their overhead off of that sale. So I feel like there's just a different vibe around that. And so, like, when people are coming to an outdoor gig in a park, like, they're there because they're like, I want to see music. I want to dance with people, you know, dance around people. Park. Yeah. So there's like just a little bit of like, I'd like to see how that evolves and gets taken back into the venues. Just that sort of like, here for the music, here for it.
I agree.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I wonder if they'll do more matinee performances than usual. You know,
all ages.
All ages, maybe more all ages. Yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was thinking about that, and you know, I remember when I was pregnant, I like didn't go places sometimes because I felt like I had to buy a drink. Or like even before that, I just like, I didn't always want to drink. But if I was going to a club, you know, a sit down place where you're going to watch, I felt a lot of pressure to buy a drink. You know, well, some places have a 2-drink minimum.
Yeah, like comedy clubs or something.
No, like some of the, I think
Royal Room
did. I feel like Tula's might have had something when you bought a ticket. I can't remember.
Tula's, yeah. I think you did have to buy something.
Yeah. And then, you know, you don't want to be like that. You can, but you just don't want to drink if you don't.
And then they were so rude, and then and everything was so expensive. You're like, what? Why am I here? You know, like. Anyway.
Well, I think that, I mean, for somebody with a background in hospitality, I just don't think it was normalized that you can go out, not drink, but you can still throw the bartender $5. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you don't have to buy anything, but like at least throw the staff $5 for sitting there. You know what I mean?
They're still making money off that soda water. Costs like a penny.
Exactly. Right. Well, you know, it's like having options available for people. Not every single bar has like a non-alcoholic drink menu outside of Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, and ginger ale. You know, it's like there's nothing really that great to offer. Ginger beer, you know, it's like if you get a mocktail, just like a cocktail, you can still, you know what I mean? A lot of places don't offer that type of stuff though. So.
Yeah, it's kind of normalizing patronage, right? Because it could be for artists, but it also can be for service workers. It's like that idea that, you know, we're all appreciating the different parts, working parts of what's going on in a club or at you know at a restaurant or whatever it is. Which I feel like that is a little bit of like hopefully, you know, with the live streaming, it was about like tipping when you go and watch something. Maybe that's part of what people carry in. A lot more people were getting into Patreon and stuff. It's like, that's what they did back in the old days. This is like artists had patrons and, you know, got to put up amazing shows every night because people were just like, this is important. And, you know, we like to gather people around this. So I was like, Ben Hunter and I talked a lot about that. It's like, bring that back.
That club opening up, isn't it? Isn't his place going to be opening up?
Yeah, they finally got like, they got a bunch of grants to take care of the sprinklers and some of the code stuff. And then they bought the building. Like they own the building.
Nice.
Wow.
Good for them. What's the name of the place again?
Black and Tan Hall.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Where's that?
It's it's across the Twilight Rainier. And it's kind of a co-op model because it's a whole bunch of community people that it's not like one person put up like, you know, $500,000, like a whole bunch of community people put up sweat equity and some money, but it's not huge amounts, but it's a lot of people. So there's a lot of buy-in too, to, you know, make it succeed and make it active. So I mean, I hope we just see more like creative stuff like that too, as the platform for getting creative stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and having the space to do it, because who even knows what's going to open up anymore? You know if Columbia City Theater is going to be opening back up down there.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
I know that they were trying to sell it, right? They were in earnest trying to sell.
pandemic.
But Cafe Racer is going into Barca right now.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's going to be such an active space up there.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's going to help Vermilion as well too. I feel like it's just going to really activate that whole area right there, even more than it already is.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see something go in the old Value Village space.
Mm.
Isn't there? I thought there was like, wasn't it kind of like a WeWork space in there?
Yeah, it's for lease again.
Oh.
Because everyone's been doing that from their house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I actually don't need a space.
Exactly right.
Right.
I'm sitting in my house.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
That's why I say shut down 11th. Just make it like make it a nightlife street, you know, like the French Quarter.
I just went down to the market the other day, and the Can moved as well to have a bigger spot in Post Alley.
Where'd they go?
So they went to where the Steelhead Cafe was, and it's like right on Post Alley in Pine. So they moved to Pine. And I went in there the other day. They're still doing work on it, but the place was friggin' huge in comparison to the friggin' little 60-seat theater that they had in the basement.
I love that place. I love that place.
Yeah, but now they're going to be, I mean, it'll be rad because, you know, they used to sell out every night there. So they'll probably, if they can sell out, do double the amount of seats and still do 2 shows a night, it's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The ceilings are way higher so they can hang all the rigging that they need to, you know, so it'll just be, it'll be pretty cool. And there's windows from floor to ceiling in there. So it should be, it looks really cool. Really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then there's a new space called Supernova opening up. They have a grand opening coming up. Does anyone remember the date? Anyway,
is that the one in North Seattle, or is that the one in Soto?
it's the one in Soto where Studio 7 was.
Nice. That's right.
Yeah.
I heard it was a queer space, which is awesome to have something south of downtown. Because how many places on Capitol Hill closed? I know that. What was the space that closed? The big one.
Well, Rebar in Denny, and then the one right on the corner.
Yeah, well, I can't remember the name of it.
Well, Neighbors.
Are they
And then the one across the street also closed.
It's closed as well.
What? Really?
Wow. And then it wasn't Rebar, it wasn't Neighbors, it was that other one that was like 4 stories. Why can't
Oh,
the name of the space?
I forget the name of that space. too.
Yeah, that's not coming in my head, but I know exactly where you're talking.
Is that place not open too?
No, they closed.
What the hell?
Every place is closing. So is that going to be, I wonder if that place is going to turn into the new queer space, since they all left Capitol. Oh, Jesus.
I know, I was gonna say, that's also, I mean,
Friggin' packed.
if 11th was like hopping, that would be nice, because there would at least be a little bit of preserved space, but it is so expensive up there just to live. It's, you know, a lot of folks I know are in South Park and Georgetown and South Seattle White Center, so, because
Nice.
it's kind of affordable.
Relatively.
Relatively, yeah.
Skyrocket again now, you know what I mean? I mean, real estate hasn't changed. The rental market changed during the pandemic, but the buying and selling, I mean, everything just still keeps going up and up and up and up. It's like everybody just decided to buy if they could during the pandemic. You know? I know that Shayna has been looking for a house and she hasn't been able to get one of the houses that she's been on yet. So.
People have that cash. Nowadays, you have to have the whole thing or a big chunk cash.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And over asking price. She said that like if a house is at 700,000, she has to have at least $1 million to get it, you know, to even be in the running for a $700,000 house. I'm like, that's crazy. She's like, yeah, because if I want it, I have to keep being able to bid. So I need to know that I have the space to be able to do that. That's nuts.
Wow.
Be buying in Seattle ever unless
The game.
The game. I know.
Well, even I used to laugh, you know, we would be like, because, you know, when I moved into Columbia City, we were like, oh, you live in Columbia City. How is it down there? Like, it's so scary, right? I mean, this was 12 years ago. And I was like, well, there's like Geraldine's. Is that real scary?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And like a Jewish community.
Yeah.
You know.
There's brown people, that's brown and black people, that's pretty much, you know, the coded word, like, but it's crazy because like, you know, and now it's nuts, like down to Hellman City, some of the housing is like, I've seen like 800 square feet house go for like $500,000, and I'm like, that's a lot of work, and it's like $500,000, like no effing way. Yeah, because people are just nuts.
So I was renting a room in a house in Columbia City for $300 a month. Like that would never be the case.
That does not exist anymore.
No,
not unless like you can do that here, Michelle, but you need to babysit like, you know, 15, 20 hours a week. Then you can live in our room. We have a room upstairs.
I feel a little sorry for 20-something years old, like, right? Like when you get out of college or you're like finding your first job and you just want to even rent a room, like these rooms are like not cheap. You have to get like 5 people for an apartment to make it work. And I'm just like, how can you just like, I mean, people just should be paid more. Really, that's like the fundamental thing, but also that experience of being 20 and then all you're doing is just working because you can't, yeah. It's like
well, the part is that the rents are the same from Everett to Olympia. You know what I mean? That's the hard part. It's like, oh, just move down south. Well, no, that's actually not even the answer anymore because a studio apartment is still $1,200 a month.
Yeah, Tacoma's pretty expensive too now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like from Everett to Olympia, it's all the same price, you know? And so it's scary. I mean, if you were going to move, it was like move during the pandemic and be like, I want a 2-year lease.
Yeah.
Now move into your place for 2 years. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we have 8 minutes left, just so you know.
We've been chatting it up.
Countdown. I know, seriously. We're like, we're just gonna say goodbye, you know.
We clearly haven't been able to talk to each other.
No, we haven't.
Having time.
And you know what's been great about these things is like, it's like usually before the pandemic, we would only be hanging out with each other really if we were performing, right? I mean, honestly.
I'm actually looking forward to that changing. Like I want to have just more hangings, you know, just
Yeah.
yeah.
Legit
Come over.
hangs where it doesn't have to do with any sort of work or
yeah. Like we got this great backyard, you know. And I mean, like, you know, Gigi's gonna go to bed at 8:30 and then I'm kind of hanging. So I'm like, come over, hang.
Come on over.
Play some music. Well,
yeah. Hey, yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, Heather out at Shayna's show, and it was just like fun to sit and chat and hear about her travels, right? Like she did that whole crazy a month in a place during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, yeah.
What it was like to be in Texas during that time or whatever. And so, yeah, get to hear people like do more storytelling and like get to know them better in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heather's down in LA again right now. And we're like, hey, we have a show July 23rd. She's like, I don't think I'll be quite back yet. And I pretty much reached out to her. I'm like, so are you just gonna like go and do it all over again this year? You actually have the experience you wanted to have last year, you know?
Redo.
It and had some, you know, like her car breaking down and having to fix it, like all the major things, and still have survived it. I think it's going to be a lot easier. She'll probably be out of town a lot, I suspect. So
I think so.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. Yeah.
So
it's always good to check in.
Yeah.
With you ladies. I'm so, oh my
Yeah.
God. It's just so good to see you guys on Zoom.
My hair and my makeup a little bit.
I love
noticed that. I saw that. That's good.
An opportunity. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like coming back out of the pandemic, I need to, you know,
spruce it up a little bit.
Take better care of myself in the way that I present myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you feel like your hair's all like really long and
look at that.
Yeah, you kind of look like Hollywood.
I know.
Old Hollywood.
Well, she's doing these curls, these hot rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm just curling it pretty much.
Curling it.
Amazing.
I've got
so amazing.
Yeah, so I want to just start, you know, being fashionable again. I've been sober for over a year at this point, and I'm getting over like everything that's gone down over the last 5 or 6 years. It's just been really difficult, and the pandemic gave me an opportunity to quit drinking and quit smoking cigarettes, and it's just made the difference. It helped me, like, you know, really get over my mom's death, which took a fucking long time to do. So, you know, I'm feeling better about myself. I'm in a good place. I'm not like, you know, recovering from my fucking hangover, my perpetual hangover from being out 5 nights a week, you know, and working more, and, you know, being a bartender and being a musician meant I get to drink a lot for free. So, you know, it was just, you know.
We were like zombies. Like go, 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 drink, drink, smoke, smoke, you know, play, play. And it was just like, I think pandemic really, you know, because slow down, and then you're like coming out of it now. I'm just like, how did I do that? How did I, you know, like, how did I do that? Literally, because there was one night before the lockdown where I did 3 gigs in one day, you know, and then stayed up late. And then, you know, it's like, how did we do that? And we're not, none of us are in our 30s, right?
What?
So it's like,
what? I just added one more digit to that too. So.
Congratulations. One more digit?
No, it's And we're in the triples now.
We're the triple, so
Yeah,
we're like
wait, I was
100.
thinking, if you got another digit,
You look
I mean,
good.
last year was like basically 20 years, right? 2020 was 20 years.
It was 20 years. I totally agree.
I have the grays. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it I got a lot this past year. It was
I got a few more of these, you know. Few more.
look how beautiful we all are.
We are. We are. We're just all beautiful.
I wish my diaphragm was as big as that.